Morning. Continue our way barreling west. We were in southwestern Nebraska, and I was searching around on the Overland Bound 1 app and found a trail that was mapped out through northwestern Kansas and had a little camp spot marked out on it. So we decided to take that yesterday and barrel down to a little free campsite at a local county park. That was really cool. We got to barrel through some back roads and dirt and gravel through western Kansas. I can't ever help but to think of the Old West. I can't imagine traveling through this area in a covered wagon, walking all this. It's so much open land. But in other news, we have been playing mouse hunt the last 2 nights. We had a critter 2 nights ago that we went through the process and submitted the eviction notice and did the thing. And that squatter was successfully evacuated from the premises.
Watched him jump off the rail and out into the woods.
However, this morning, or last night there was another unwanted resident. So we poked around playing mouse hunt for, ended up being a couple hours last night.
It was a long time.
Then we went through the whole rig this morning and happened to find the apartment complex it was staying in the center console. So we blew everything out. You want to be cautious with that kind of stuff. You can get really sick from mouse poo and pee and whatnot. So we did the right thing and grabbed the air nozzle and blew everything around the air. But we got rid of it. And we did not successfully issue the eviction notice this morning. So I'm not sure if the little feller is still taking up residence here. And I'm going to have a mouse crawling up my leg later, or not.
Let's hope not.
We're hoping not. That little guy took off. But we continue west on to Colorado.
We'll see you down the road.
Good morning from the Rocky Mountains of Colorado. It is absolutely gorgeous up here.
It is beautiful.
And, it's so nice to be back in the mountains. I miss this. It was gorgeous. Beautiful morning this morning. Been an interesting couple of days though. Early morning yesterday we had quite the storm. What we thought looked like a little bit of rain on the radar, and we didn't properly prepare for, and turned out to be a huge lightning storm. Pouring rain, and it was quite the ordeal. So with the open air rig back there, it's just pitter pattering a little bit. And I don't have a rain fly on top of that. You can see the screen right on top of the rooftop tent there. So it's fine for a little pitter patter rain, but it started downpouring.
And everything in the tent got wet.
And we got soaked quickly. So we were jumping up to in the middle of early morning, I suppose. It was 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, throwing a big tarp over the Jeep and trying to dry out all of our gear. We pulled out all the stops there. Every bit of gear we had, we used. All of our Vertex gear, jumped into all the rain gear, our our insulated stuff. I was wearing merino wool. It was over 50-degree swing for us because we just came out of about 100 degrees on the Front Range. And up here in the mountains, it dropped down into the low 40s, and it was about 37 last night. But we made it through it. Survived, dried out all the gear. Love that about the West. It's pretty low humidity, so all of our gear dried pretty quickly. And this morning, we've just been enjoying this view. It's epic. Just gorgeous mountains. Then today we were checking out the weather, and it looks like we're in for some pretty good storms over the next week or so. And they're calling for first frost here in just a few days up in the Rockies. So we're gonna have to barrel on. We're a bit of a fair weather adventurers out of the rig there. We can handle the rain, but yeah, if it's just gonna be cold and wet the whole week, then we're gonna barrel on and continue on west. So I'm gonna get the rest of that packed up. But before I do, I gotta mention that this spot, it's beautiful and it's out in the mountains, it's gorgeous, but the road that's about 100 yards from here, it's still relatively trafficked, right? And it's a pretty popular hobby out here. Be out camping and adventuring out in the mountains. So that shower tent right there, that one particularly from DFG Off-Road, came in real handy. There's still quite a bit of people coming around, and it's nice to be able to clean up and in some privacy. So I'm really glad we added that.
And stand up to put on pants.
That's a big deal. So yeah, we're gonna get that packed up and continue on down the road. Get down to the western slopes of Colorado.
Let's kick it.
So we've been having some issues with the ladder here. I can hear it's full of sand. Even tried a little compressed air to evacuate some of that, but our mechanism is failing. So this is how we've been putting down the ladder the last few days. Oh.
And it's slowly falling apart.
It's falling apart. So I did contact CVT. I guess they've made some improvements to their new ladder design. It's aluminum instead of powder coated. Oh, there we go. We got it collapsed. And like I mentioned before, we're kind of chasing weather around it anyways. So we were contemplating on having one shipped to a UPS store. It's probably the most effective way to receive packages when we're traveling. And I did contact CVT, so they have a ladder available. But with us chasing weather, I need to find an appropriate place to go and have a few days to go pick that up. But a couple of gear failures so far on the trip. The ladder being one, and that might be just the mechanism got gummed up from all the sand and use and whatnot. But that needs to be handled. Then our other one, I've had a tough time with zippers. I don't know if I need to focus a little more on my cleaning, but I've also had this bag for a long time. This is at least 4 years old. Oh, watch out. Hi. Hi. I had some zipper failures on this little unit. And unfortunately, Blue Ridge has this out of stock right now. Hey. So we're on a mission to find a new kitchen utensil bag. And a ladder. We got to find somewhere to have some of that stuff shipped to. Get back on track. So now that we got that forcibly collapsed, we're going to finish wrapping this up. any of you guys are interested in coming camping out here in this region, there's an awesome, pretty easy dirt road to get up to, and there's a boatload of dispersed camping out here. If you're interested in finding it, you can jump over to the Overland Bound 1 app and search by 3 keywords separated by dots. And this camping area in particular is messengers, investors, somehow. Separated by dots, put each of those 3 words in the search function will bring you right to this location. That's a much easier way to search and find locations. So each of these in the Overland Bound 1 app, whether it's a trailhead in GPX or a camping location, resource is annotated by 3 words separated by dots. Much easier than trying to search through the very long and drawn out minutes and seconds of GPS coordinates. So jump on over and check it out. Good evening from the Topogachie Trail, just outside of Grand Junction, Colorado. Forgive me if I pronounce that horribly wrong. I'm not familiar with it, but it is gorgeous. The views up here were absolutely beautiful. It was a great trail coming up here. We found this beautiful camp spot overlooking a giant canyon. It's fantastic. A little earlier we mentioned we were pressing west to head out of some weather and some cold temperatures, and we definitely found that. It's bright and sunshiny here. It's fantastic. So we got all set up, got everything ready. Camp's all ready to go. Now it's time to make some dinner. Tonight on the Tin Bin Kitchen is some chorizo-inspired tacos with little elote corn. Chorizo-inspired, I mentioned earlier in the previous video, I have some food allergies, so I can't always buy packaged products. So I'm gonna take some raw pork and season that up in a chorizo-esque way. And then the corn is actually a little special. Even though we just barreled through a bunch of corn country, elote or elote, again, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correct. This is the best sweet corn I've had in my life. It's just amazing. So we found a little farmer's market today and picked up some of their sweet corn. So we're gonna cook that up and have some tacos and elote for dinner. Let's get started with dinner. Get some water going for the corn. Just gonna bust this corn in half to fit in the size pan I have with. Fun fact about that pan, I don't have a whole lot of specialty, camping pans or anything like that. Along with that pot I actually just used is almost as old as I am. It was an old set that we used to use when I was camping out of a travel trailer when I was a kid. Handles pop off and stuff, but good set of cookware, it'll last a long time. We got those busted apart.
jump in and grab some pork out of the fridge. Oh. Citrus. Lime. Come back for an onion and cilantro later. So I'm making 2 pounds of pork. I'll usually make this in batches when we're traveling. Then we'll have tacos 2 or 3 meals kind of in a row. Or maybe have it for lunch one day. Or either way. Make this all in a batch, and then I just have to reheat the taco situation and toast up some tortillas later on. We also picked up a new stove. The Coleman we had, this in the last one, it probably cooked 1,000 meals. And it lived in the back of here for a long time. And all the little burner tops kind of got a little crusted, and we weren't getting our full flame anymore. So I didn't realize how bad it had gotten until we picked up a new one. But nothing fancy still just a Coleman stove. Doing the thing. All right. A little bit of olive oil to start the fat situation in the pan. And our water boiling. Give that a healthy portion of salt. Drop these in here. Only takes a few minutes. Jump up into the spice cupboard here and make some magic happen. Let's take this from just regular old pork to kind of chorizo inspired. I've got some chili powder. This is actually pretty spicy chili powder. When we lived in Las Vegas, one of my favorite things after work was to go hit a taco truck. So I definitely pull a lot of inspiration from little street side taco trucks that were downtown Vegas. It's my favorite thing to do at 3 o'clock in the morning. Long shift on the bar. Go pound down some lingua tacos. Yep. Next up is a bunch of paprika. You get that bright red color that you commonly see in packaged chorizo. Also going to use a little smoked paprika, just because I like the smoky flavor. Little cumin. Went through some elevation change. Well, my container's got a little tight. It's a pressure buildup here. A little bit of oregano, Mexican oregano would be better, but that's what we got. Saving my fresh cilantro for my taco toppings. Just a little bit of dried cilantro in there too. Some salt. A little bit of onion and garlic powder. Add a little bit of water in here. Things are drying out just a little bit. I'll make some of our sauce here with those spices. We have what a drastic change as we go through. Coming from the Central Rockies down to the western slopes here. We dried right out. It was super humid, or excuse me, cold and wet up in the Rockies, damp. Now we got down here and it's dry as a bone, which I really like. It's fantastic to be back all the way in the west. Really like the dry air and the dry heat. Corn here. It's brightened right up in color. That's beautiful. Pull that off the heat. That's gorgeous. Gorgeous looking sweet corn. Pull that off. Got a cast iron pan on. This little guy's been with us for all of our adventures. There's no good substitute for a cast iron pan. Especially even when you're camping in the cold. It takes a little while to get that hot, but the cast iron holds the heat in once it gets hot. And right now I'm just going to use it for a really even cooking surface to dry heat and toast some tortillas. Got some good corn tortillas. Get these in, just toasting one at a time. A dry heat pan, about medium heat. Just let them toast. As they go, they'll start to inflate like a balloon. That's perfect. Our chorizo-esque pork is coming together nicely. All right, we got all of our tortillas toasted. I'm gonna whack through some of our toppings for the tacos. A little bit of white onion here. So I'm chopping through this, just thinking through the day. And I'm really not familiar with this area at all. So when we jumped on Overland Bound 1 and we're surfing around the area and seeing where was National Forest and what elevation we were at and kind of cross-referencing with our weather maps and such, we were able to find this pinned site. So thank you to whoever pinned this one on Overland Bound. And it was amazing. I pinned it up into 3D and kind of navigated through here. Being unfamiliar with it and being solo, we're definitely taking it easy on some trails right now. It's been a couple of years since we've been out too, so it's nice to get our bearings again. And this was a great trail to do it on. This was absolutely beautiful. Not technical in any fashion, a good four-wheel drive trail, but man, was it beautiful.
technical enough to air down the tires and put it in the 4, but some good elevation change, beautiful views. Throw cilantro. I picked up this red jalapeno from the same fellow that was selling the corn in town. So we'll see how hot this little guy is. Said everything was grown all organic by him and his father. So that was pretty cool. I love finding those little farmers markets when we're traveling. Get some of the freshest ingredients that way. All right. Probably notice I'm wearing gloves too. We're always trying to conserve water out here. We've only got 8 gallons, so it's a lot easier to throw on a pair of gloves than it is to try and really thoroughly wash my hands where I'm comfortable with food prep. Surfaces are a little easier to get clean, but you know, I'm pretty grubby in the open air rig, so I'm a big fan of using gloves. Let's get this elote plated up. This corn just is absolutely beautiful. It's gonna be fantastic. Couple pieces on there. Top that with just a tickle of mayo. A little bit of salt. A little dusting of chili powder. We'll finish it off. A little squeeze of fresh lime. Jump onto our tacos. Grab a few tortillas here. Yeah, I love these dogs. They don't care. They know this isn't their food, so we don't feed them from the table or from the back of the Jeep here or anything while I'm cooking their bowl and their food. So they couldn't care less that I'm back here making food. They're great dogs. All right, let's finish off these tacos. Top off the tacos, a little bit of fresh onion. A bit of fresh cilantro. And line these with some of these fresh chilies. See if I regret this in the morning. It's going to be worth it though. A squeeze of fresh lime for each taco. That's beautiful. There we have it. Chorizo tacos and elote. It'll take me right back to a Las Vegas side street. Cheers, guys. Enjoy this sunset. I'm going to enjoy some tacos.